All right. Episode 115 of Lancaster Connects. This is the show about great things in Lancaster, great people, great companies, great charitable organizations, giving them some spotlight, giving them some opportunity to explain better, deeper, more intentionally about what they do. And this week we've got, I think, one of the marquee companies that defines all of that joining us.
Yep.
And so we're very excited to bring our guest on here momentarily. But as per usual, you can watch Lancaster Connects on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube, live streamed every Monday at 2:00 in the afternoon. And then you can always pick it up as a podcast show. I almost lost my words there. An audio show.
Podcast.
Yeah, I just got a little... What was that basketball announcer that?
Marv Albert.
Marv Albert. Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Almost channeled a little bit of.
He's going to do that voice the whole episode.
I might. Just might see. Gosh.
That's
just
it.
Might do it. But I totally lost my train of thought there. It was a little funny.
I think you were talking about
where to watch the podcast. Oh, the audio.
Yeah,
so that's where we left off. If you prefer your podcast without video, actually, this is a whole thing. There's a whole thing about podcasting. The podcast purists say a podcast can never be what we're doing right now on video.
Okay, right.
And then we even more inflame them when we do it live.
So this is a live video podcast.
Yeah.
That breaks all kinds of podcast rules.
So wherever you fall on the podcast spectrum, that's okay. We give you all parts and pieces. You can watch it audio, listen to audio, watch it later, watch it live. We're here to please the people. That's what Lancaster Connects is about. So we'd love for you to comment. We'd love for you to share it. We'd love for you to subscribe on whatever player, whether that's LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or your favorite podcast player, whether that's Spotify, Apple, whatever. Give us a subscribe so you get the latest updates. We'd love for you to do that. And we've got our prize still.
Yeah, we've got the calendar turned to October, and we now have sponsors going forward for the Lancaster Connects podcast. We're really excited to have our first inaugural. Is that the right word? Inaugurated. Yeah. So our very first ever sponsor, well, besides Gardner's Mattress and more, these four walls that we live within, that has produced this show for the last 2.5 years. But Whiff Roasters is the October sponsor. There they are on the screen. We had Keith on the show a few months ago. It was a great show. Go back to our episode page on LancasterConnects.com and watch the episode there. But Whiff is Liddit's hometown coffee roasters. And Jeff, they'd like you to know that not all coffees are created equal. I love Whiff Roasters coffee. In fact, I'm drinking some that I think we both are. Roasting premier coffee is an art they have mastered over time. Since 1999, Whiff Roasters is proud to be a local favorite for specialty coffees, and their uniqueness is simple. They set a very high standard for bean quality, and you can tell, freshness and roast, which allows them to consistently produce incredible coffee bag after coffee bag and cup after cup. And this month, because of their sponsorship, they have generously donated these portion packs, which is essentially one whole pot of coffee.
Yep.
I don't think you can read what the flavor, but it's
pumpkin pecan. And
it's what I have in my cup. It is fantastic. It's pumpkin spice season, and I'm not ashamed to say that and drink that. But it's free. This portion pack is free. Just come to Gardner's Mattress some more anytime during open business hours. Pick up your pumpkin pecan portion pack, and you can get a great pot of coffee.
We had a little kerfuffle.
What's a kerfuffle?
Over the pumpkin pecan K-Cups. One of our great people here, Phil, I was going to not name names, but what the heck? Phil is a big fan of pumpkin pecan, and he drank them all.
He almost got canned.
And that created the kerfuffle amongst everybody else.
Yes.
And so anyhow, if you want in on the kerfuffle and the pumpkin pecan, stop in. We'll give you that. But you can also enter for a great prize. We're giving away this $100 gift basket of Whiff Roasters coffee, paraphernalia, K-Cups, coupons, mugs, you name it. What's really fun about their coffee is the flavors. You've got dirty banana, You've got Mombasa. You've got your regular blends, your high test blends, which is kick butt. Although there's another word, it's a family show. We'll just say kick butt.
It's all great.
It's fun. Like I go to the rack and I pull it out and it's like, which great flavor do I want today? There's not a bad one. Mm-hmm. So Whiff Roaster is fantastic.
Yeah, and Lancaster Connects, Chris had it up on the screen there, lancasterconnects.com/contest. All you got to do is get to enter that contest to win this gift basket, $100 value. Go to that page, enter your name and email, and there's additional ways to enter. You can enter, I think, 6 or 7, 8 times into this contest. So actually, there it is on the screen, 7 ways to enter. So go ahead and do that, lancasterconnects.com/contest. Win this Whip Roasters gift basket.
And without too much further ado, hopefully we haven't scared our guest away with our brand of humor.
Chris hasn't said that she's left. So.
But let's bring on Robin Stauffer, the executive director for the High Foundation. Robin, welcome to Lancaster Connects. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being here. Thanks for the invitation.
Are you a coffee drinker?
I am. Yes. Love coffee.
Yeah. What do you love about coffee?
Well, I'm a Starbucks fan.
It's all right.
We've all got our preferences. It's all right.
And the stronger, the better for me. So
okay.
I tend to go for a bolder flavor. Yeah.
Now, like a flavor like pumpkin pecan, or I'm sure Starbucks has something similar. Do you gravitate towards the spice, or you do?
Yeah,
okay,
I enjoy a pumpkin latte now and again in the fall. It's sort
nothing
of
wrong with that.
It feels good this time of year to drink something like that and get you into the season. But yeah, every now and again. But I just prefer a strong, bold coffee.
Good.
Got it. So, how long have you lived in Lancaster, and what do you enjoy most about the Lancaster community?
Yeah, so I was born and raised here. I've lived here my entire life. I'm a Penn State grad and have appreciated the community, and the heritage that exists here in Lancaster. Have a lot of family here, and so a lot of good, fun memories from my years growing up, my time in high school, and then on to college and working for the high companies.
That's great. That's a great segue into the high companies. I think you probably can't live in Lancaster County and not know something about the high companies. I know they've been in Lancaster for forever. And you, as Jeff said, are the executive director of the High Foundation. So, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But maybe you can give us a little brief history about the High companies, what they do and what they've done, and how they've kind of transitioned or brought to light the great efforts in Lancaster with the High Foundation.
Sure. Yeah. Well, they were formed in 1931, and they were formed by Sanford High, who was the founder at that time. In 1963, Dale High joined the company, and Dale is the individual that I worked for many years, both on the corporate side and now in the High Foundation, as he's focusing more of his attention in that direction. And as I said, Dale joined the company in 1963. In 1977, he became chair of the board, president, and CEO of the High Industries companies. And that High Industries is made up of companies like High Steel Structures, High Concrete Group, High Steel Service Center. And it was also in 1963 that they formed they started the real estate group of companies with the formation of High Properties, which is the owner of what is known as Greenfield, which is where we're located. So, since 63, they've been in the real estate business as well as the High Industries operating companies. And during that time, there was significant growth under Dale's leadership. A lot of acquisition, a lot of new startups, and so the group of companies that you see today, in large part, are thanks to Dale High's leadership and over that span of time.
Having been alongside Dale, what was the driving factor behind that expansion, behind going into these different diverse companies and adjacent companies to the original?
Yeah, well, I worked in the high companies since 1985, so I've been here through a lot of the growth. And I would tell you that probably in those early years, it was more opportunistic. They saw an opportunity to expand or to acquire and grow the company, and they moved in that direction. In the latter years, I would say it's become more strategic, probably, but a lot of it was, they saw an opportunity at the time, took advantage of it, moved in that direction, and it resulted in growth for the company. There were instances, of course, where not all the decisions were the right decision, but the majority of them were. And so we're fortunate to be in a strong position today.
It's interesting that you mentioned Greenfield, and I know Greenfield covers a big plot of land, and there's a lot of businesses and people that reside within that area. My wife works for the CAP Community Action Partnership Program in the WIC office. And right. I think just last week she was in the High Foundation building, or one of the buildings there. She said a newer building
on Friday, I believe.
That's for a training session. We were just talking about it this morning. She said it was a beautiful building, like brand new and awesome. So that's just interesting.
So our building is at the entrance. Yeah, it's at the entrance to Greenfield. It's called the SDL High Leadership Center. Yeah. And it's home to the family office, the High Family Office, and the High Foundation. And then we also open it to our community partners, those that are funded by the High Foundation. And so Community Action Partnership, or CAP, is certainly one of those organizations.
Okay, that's very cool.
That we partner with and that we fund.
Very cool.
Yeah. Just as an aside, before we get deeper into our time together, how happy are you with the Goat Path opening?
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Wow, you guys are on it. Yeah, we just had the ribbon cutting a couple weeks ago, and we're thrilled with that project. It's going to really help as we continue to grow Greenfield in terms of the traffic.
Yeah.
If you've been to the intersection of Hempstead Road and Route 30 and Greenfield Road, where you get off the highway and you have to deal with Costco and McDonald's, it gets a little crazy at that intersection. So this should hopefully relieve some traffic for Greenfield, which we're very grateful for.
My direct connection to Greenfield goes back 2+ decades.
This has nothing to do with your old band, does it?
No, it doesn't. No, my first corporate career, my stepping stone from being a wild youth to a reasonable adult, was at Harvey Industries. And I think they're still have a warehouse there. If you presently you navigate the road with Costco, McDonald's, et cetera. But back in that day, it was all the expansion of that side of 30.
Right.
I spent that time. And so at any rate.
Yeah, a lot of change and growth here in Greenfield for sure.
Yeah, a little adjacent conversation to the conversation of the mission and the vision of High Foundation. Let's have you talk about that.
Sure, I'd
what
love
the
to.
goal is that the family's brought together.
Yeah, I'd love to. So the foundation was formed in 1980 by, I mentioned Sanford High as our founder, and by Dale High and his brother Calvin. The three of them had formed High Foundation at that time. And so, it's been doing a lot of good work for many, many years. What transpired in the last year has been a significant change for us, and, a lot of growth that's going to occur here as a result of the generosity of Dale in this last year or two. And so we're preparing for that growth and looking forward to the opportunities that will present. But since it was formed in those early years, the family has directed a lot of giving back into the community. They always felt that community was important, both to the coworkers of the High companies, but also to just the sense of place that's created here in our county and in our community. And so a lot of, more than $30 million has been contributed since it was formed. And that will continue to grow here as we look to the future. But, currently we're focused on areas that where we can make a difference in terms of the issue of poverty. We really want to try and eliminate poverty in our community. And so we contribute to organizations that make an impact in that space. Community Action Partnership is certainly one of those organizations. And so We've, been partnering with them for quite some time. We're also very interested in the economic vibrancy of our community and particularly of the city. So a lot of investment has gone into, neighborhoods and other organizations, arts and culture organizations that are contributing to the vibrancy of the downtown and the Lancaster community. So that's where we've been focused. As I said, we had a large gift come through from Dale here more recently. And so we're in the midst of a strategic planning exercise that will give us, that will give us the direction for the future. We're working through kind of what that's going to look like, how we have to scale in order to prepare for that growth and where we're going to invest going forward. And so a lot of good work is underway to plan for the future, and we're looking forward to that. This
you've referenced it, I think, twice here. This large gift from Dale and family directly. Has that been in the news? Is this something we can break here on Lancaster Connects?
Yeah, it was actually announced early last year in 2022. Okay. So it's not new news, but
so we're bringing it back to the top of the news feed here on the powerful Lancaster Connect show with all of its amazing bandwidth and reach.
Yeah, Dale, in early 22, it was announced that Dale contributed his ownership in the high industries companies to the foundation as part of his estate planning effort. And so, that's what I'm referring to. And so that was a significant investment in the High Foundation for the future. And so a lot of work and planning has been going on to prepare for this day. Of course, we've been working on it for quite some time, a number of years, but it's here, and now we're working with our board and the team here at the High Foundation to prepare a plan to take us into the future as a result of that gift.
Yeah. And so without getting into too many details, because some of it I'm sure is private amongst the family and private amongst the companies, but putting his ownership to the foundation means his valuation, his equity in the various companies or all companies goes to the foundation and not gets sprinkled down to children. And people often, we often hear of these companies where there's a tremendous amount of success. That success gets passed down, and then subsequent generations aren't as good of stewards with it as they could have been. In this case, that succession planning goes right into the High Foundation for the community to benefit.
That's right.
That right?
Yeah, that's right. And this is, again, it's his interest in the high companies, in high industries, not the high companies, in high industries, that he contributed to the foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really great to hear you talk about what the High Foundation does. I mean, you look at Lancaster City and kind of the rebirth that it's gone through in the last 20, 30 years, and that really coincides with, $30 million worth of funds that you've reinvested into the community. High Foundation has really been a big part of the I think growth of Lancaster the last 2-3 decades.
Yeah, it absolutely has. You're probably familiar with the Downtown Hotel Convention Center project. Mm-hmm. We view that as having been a catalyst for a lot of the growth and expansion that's occurring in the downtown. And that was, thanks again to Dale's vision and his view of the fact that the city is important to the county and it's important to our community. And so we wanted to continue to see that thrive and flourish. And so that investment was made. And I think we can all agree that resulted in a lot of additional investment in the downtown. And we're grateful for what we experienced there today as a result of that investment.
Yeah, that was such an amazing project to see that come together, like saving the front, the facade of that building, and how is that possibly going to work? But it's like it fits right in. It's really cool to see that preserved the way that you did it.
Yeah, yeah. And in the convention center, it's not just business things. There's been we've exhibited there for home shows.
Yeah.
My last Brazilian jiu-jitsu tournament I competed in was there.
Nice.
And I actually chose to stay the night because I had a long day of competition the next day. So I chose to stay the night at the hotel to prepare. There's rock concerts and music concerts that happen there. All kinds of things.
Lots of events and things that bring people to the downtown and hopefully, spill out over into the other businesses that exist there. And the other thing I would just add is, that project was something that the community indicated they wanted. When it wasn't just our idea to make that happen, there was a lot of discussion that went on around that, and a convention center, the downtown, was something that people were excited about and interested in. And so, our team was able, along with others, investors at the time, were able to bring that to fruition and make that happen. And so we're excited to be part of projects that make an impact like that.
Yeah.
You talked, so we've mentioned Community Action Partnership being one of the programs that has benefited from the investments from the High Foundation. What are some other Lancaster-based programs that are funded by, or partially funded by the High Foundation?
Yeah. Well, I can name quite a few. The Spanish American Civic Association, or SACA, as you may know it, is one of the organizations we partner with for many years. And we're recently around their Tech Centro initiative. Our view is that it takes a job to lift a person out of poverty. And so to be able to provide skills training and English as a second language and all the things that they offer under the Tech Centro umbrella, we felt it's a good investment. And again, it goes to, both our interest in lifting folks out of poverty, but also investing in the vibrancy and the economy of the downtown. So we could check both boxes with that investment. Another one would be, we were part of the Landis Place on King project. We contributed to the affordable housing units that were part of that project. That's an apartment community you may be familiar with in the downtown. And there you go.
Chris is on it.
This is why it pays to have people
wow,
around
that's
you.
great. So that was another project that we were proud to be a part of, Landis Place on King. And then, more recently, we've been investing with Lancaster History around the Thaddeus Stevens, Lydia Hamilton Smith project that is being anticipated and launched in the downtown. And again, an amazing story, one that we feel hasn't probably been told as much as it should. He was a congressman involved in the Civil War, in the Underground Railroad, a lot of connections, throughout this part of the state. And just, an amazing story that needs to be shared. And so, father of education, I believe, of course, he started at Thaddeus Stevens College. And so just, a lot of interesting aspects to that story. So we're really thrilled to be part of seeing that come to fruition as well. And so those are just a few examples. We also early on had contributed to what is known as the High Library at Elizabethtown College, another major project for us. And so just a lot of investment in a variety of areas.
Yeah. Well, you touched on Tech Centro and SACA. We've had SACA on the show specifically, and then we had Tech Centro on the show specifically.
Yep.
Because they're very distinct programs and organizations, and
right.
while joined together through ethnicity and language and et cetera, but they're two very distinct paths of things. We've had them on the show. So careers and jobs provide stability. But the other thing that I think a lot of folks who don't face food insecurity to outright food poverty is just that, is why is a focus of food security so important for you? Obviously, CAP's one of the things you support, and I'm sure there's others. But from your view, what does High Foundation see as so important on that topic of food security?
Well, again, food insecurity is something that folks in poverty experience, regularly. And so, in my opinion, no one should go hungry, not in the United States. We have a lot of resources here to provide food for folks. And so organizations that we partner with in that space would include the Lancaster Food Hub, the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, and then some of the food pantries that are located in churches and so forth throughout our community. We've helped to fund. So, that's another important resource and that we need to provide for those in our community. More recently, we partnered with the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank on a hunger mapping project, it's called. And so they were identifying, who the providers are, where gaps may exist in the system, and how we might, support closing those gaps across our community. And so we're still working with them on that. There's a phase 2 that's coming, which is kind of more around the actions that are a result of the project that we funded. But certainly food insecurity is something that we are still experiencing even here in Lancaster County. And that should not be the case.
Yep. And we saw, as Chris brought up, a mention of Blessings of Hope, how you donate to them and the wonderful things that they do.
Another great organization. Yeah, there's a lot of folks who are trying to respond to this need. And so, as we identify partners that we can come alongside and help to fund to address this, that's certainly an area of interest for us and something that we want to do.
Yeah. I'd be remiss to not mention that this month we have our own contest going on here at the store. Robin, we're celebrating our 33rd anniversary. And
congratulations.
Yeah. So, not quite as long in the county and not quite as much of impact in the county as High and the High families, but we do what we can here in our little business. And one of the things we've got going on is a contest for a $500 gas or grocery gift card. And to get in that, all people have to do is just bring in a food donation. And we'll fund the gift card ourselves, Ben and I, but if people just participate by bringing in some food donations, that's fine. We have one of our customers has brought in
just dropped up a whole load of food.
Cases. Like we're going to have to, like those little contest tear off ticket things. I sent my email reminder to get another one of those because we've got a lot of people participating. And so it's an important thing. We even go a step further on delivery. We realize we're in people's homes every day. And if we could just ask people to give one item and our delivery guys bring it back and then we get it to local food banks. Like it's those kinds of actions. You don't have to be part of the High companies or the High Foundation to do good.
Absolutely.
You can do good on your own. And it's just thinking a little differently. It doesn't always have to be money. It can be time and it can be talent.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love that. I love the way you guys are approaching it. And I think, the message there is so clear. And that is that there's something we all can do. We all have something we can give. And it doesn't matter how large or how small that gift is, but we can all do something every day for someone.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, was it Sanford or Stanford?
Sanford.
I thought
Sanford was the founder, Sanford. Yeah. And he is Dale High's father.
Yes. And so was there something about Sanford that you could share that inspired Dale to be philanthropic, to make giving back part of what's done every day?
Yeah, I think, Dale will tell you this has been in our DNA for years. I mean, Dale and his brothers and family, grew up in the Mennonite faith. So, as did I. So there's a call there to serve others. You're raised with that. That's a value that's important, to how you're raised. And so I think it's part of what you do. I mean, there's a lot of stories. I didn't know Sanford. I started at the High companies after he passed away, but there's a lot of stories across the company about things that he did. He had a garden and he would bring in, for all the coworkers, all the, tomatoes from the garden or potatoes from the garden. He was always sharing in that way. And, just the other story that I remember hearing Dale tell is that, when the company was founded, it was founded at a garage on, I believe it's West Lemon. Lemon Street in the city. And, on Saturdays, they would allow children. It was a welding shop at that time. So they would invite children to bring bikes or wagons, to the welding shop, and they would stay and repair them free of charge because that's just what you did, and, tells the story that, he was as a child and working there or a teenager working at the shop. He was anxious to get going and, go join his friends. And his father was always, we have to take care of these, items for the children.
Looks like we lost Robin there for a split second. I'm sure she'll be back. But what she was talking about there, that Saturday, time, Mr. Sanford High giving back to the local kids with their bikes and their wagons, welding it. That goes to a common topic that we've spoke about often where, you may not have the dollars, in your checking account this week to donate, but you have time and you have talents. And so I bet you in any neighborhood, if you have a handy skill to repair a bicycle, maybe not weld it, but just put a new chain on, put a new pedal on, maybe do that. If you have graphic design talent and you have a charity, like a dog charity you love, or you love a charity like one that High Foundation supports, like donate that time to build a website or create a logo or a flyer for the new promotion. That donation of your talents can go so far because all of these organizations, Robin, I'm sure that you've seen this. These organizations are sometimes strapped. It's not that they don't have the money; it's they don't have the people to affect the mission. How does High step in any way like that, as far as rallying people to a cause?
Yeah, we certainly encourage volunteerism in our organization. We support coworkers.
No, we lost her again.
Looks like we're having some trouble again. Well, we'll pick up where Robin left off as well. Yeah, I mean, they're living it, breathing it. Oh,
sorry. Did we lose one another? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we lost you again for a moment.
Okay.
You were talking about volunteerism.
Yes. So yeah, I don't know how much was caught, but we do encourage coworkers to be engaged with nonprofits and volunteer their time, whether it's on a board or a committee, or, through projects. We have groups of coworkers and teams sometimes who, reach out and say, hey, where might we plug in to do a particular project? And we have a team right now that's looking to do some work with the Habitat organization. That's another one that we support. So, it's certainly part of our DNA, part of what we ascribe to and encourage from those that work within High.
Very good.
Robin, I have it's a two-part question for you specifically. Okay. As executive director, what are some of the things that you get involved in on a day-to-day, month-to-month basis? And has there been a favorite project that you've been involved with either the High companies or with High Foundation that you've just been most proud of?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm serving on the board of the Lancaster General Health Foundation. So I've been on that board for about 2 years, and I'm really enjoying the time there to learn more about, the healthcare field and all of the challenges that they face, particularly coming out of COVID and the experience, that we all had through that. I also was involved with United Way for about 18 years. I was on the board of local United Way, and actually served as the countywide campaign chair in 2008. So that experience was very rewarding, and I learned a lot through that time. And that serving on a board of organizations like the Lancaster General Health Foundation and United Way have certainly given me a perspective and have helped to develop relationships in the areas where we're working as a foundation. So, it's I've enjoyed both of those opportunities. I would also say in terms of the foundation, just the opportunity to get to know all of the organizations that we're funding. It's very much about relationships, right? And this work is certainly that. And, to see all the amazing people that are doing amazing things in our community every day and, impacting lives, impacting, families and, contributing to the sense of place and the community that we enjoy here I just see that demonstrated all the time. And so I'm grateful for that. And I love the work that we're doing here at the High Foundation and the opportunity to be part of the work throughout our community. But also, I didn't mention this earlier, but we also invest in communities where the High companies are located. So that would include or communities like Williamsport, Pennsylvania, where we have a steel plant, Springboro, Ohio, where we have a concrete plant, Sarasota, Florida, where we have a pretty large real estate holding. So, those are communities where we're also trying to get to know who's making an impact in those communities, and we're looking to invest even more there. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, does that fall under your purview down in Sarasota, Florida?
It does. Yeah.
That's a nice little in Pennsylvania winters. You can say, I think I need to get to know the area.
No, I haven't benefited from that just yet, but we're working on it.
Yeah. Now, a little joke there. I just want to make sure everybody understands that as a joke. It's not that Robin's going to go use, company funds for a vacation in Florida or anything.
Oh, not that.
Just
we're looking for opportunities to invest alongside, again, people who are making a difference in those communities. That's
Sarasota is a nice, definitely a nice place. I have a former business partner that lives in that area. So very nice part of Florida. But no, this has been a great conversation. Obviously, High Foundation, High companies, very big companies, but is there an opportunity for somebody that might be listening to connect at a deeper level to help what you do in a charitable way affect the mission? So in other words, volunteer hours, donation of time, talent. Is there any opportunity like that? Like, how do people get connected with you that way?
Yeah, well, certainly visit the website. I mean, I would start there. That talks about our work and our pillars of investment and what our current strategy is. And, as we're making our way through our strategic planning effort, we will have more information to share as we get closer toward the end of the year. But in terms of volunteer opportunities, we don't necessarily connect folks outside of High to those opportunities. I think that would be up to the individual to do that research. But we certainly have a really good, understanding and appreciation for all of the good work that goes on here across Lancaster County, particularly, and even South Central Pennsylvania. So we can maybe provide some insight, but we're not looking to connect folks to other organizations. I would direct you, though, or if they have an interest, to the United Way, who has a volunteer center component to their work, and they would be able to maybe provide information as to what opportunities exist. So I think, the United Way organization would be who I would direct folks to if they have an interest in getting more engaged in the community.
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, you can always look at what Robin's putting out, our team puts out, High Foundation puts out. You can like that. You can share that. You can comment on those posts. If you just kind of want to go right to a source of a company doing great things to help with food and food insecurity, you can look at their posts and see who they support. And that's going to be a good organization to go spend time with. So you can go to Blessings of Hope's. Yeah, you can go to Blessing of Hope's site and check out what they're doing. You can certainly go to United Way and check out what they do. They are the vetting. United Way is like the vetting arm of Off the Streets. And what Off the Streets does to get people out of homelessness.
Right.
So Off the Streets directs all that heavy lift of making sure that their efforts are going to be sustainable. United Way clears that. They give the thumbs up, and then United Way gets the house. Off the Streets gets the house filled with furniture. So it's always good to plug into these organizations that way. And I'm sure the various managers or manager of the social media channels will like the engagement if you do. So please do that.
Yes.
Anything?
Yeah, Robin, is there anything else you would like to share about the High Foundation? Anything coming up for the future you'd like to share with our listeners?
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to comment. I see that you have our tagline, "A Bridge to Opportunity," included in the title here, and that's I appreciate that. Thank you. And that's certainly how we view our work. We really view our work as coming alongside of others in areas of identified need where we can make an impact and make a difference in the lives of those that we serve. So, and there it is as well, empowering a path to a brighter tomorrow. So that's really our vision and what we ascribe to. And I would just like to, in closing, just again, thank Dale High and the High family for the vision to start an organization like the High Foundation. And more recently now to invest even more for the benefit of both the High companies and our community. We're all very grateful.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Yeah, very, very much so. And I know we appreciate it because it keeps the community in which we do business more vibrant, more secure, and every other business owner can be grateful for that. And every person in our community can be grateful for it. So thank you. Thank you for your time. Before we have you depart, we always like to have our guests and our listeners get to know you as Robin Stauffer a little bit better. Is that all right? So we'll have our connection cocktail.
There's no drinks though.
There's no
I love
drinks.
that.
It's family show. Family show. So I'll start off. What's your idea of a perfect day?
Oh gosh.
Tough one.
Yeah, first of all, I love my work. So, it would include spending some time here doing what I love. I'm also a golfer. I enjoy playing golf with friends. So probably, later in the afternoon, if I could catch up with a few friends and play around the golf and maybe, have a cocktail and dinner, that's a great day in my mind.
Yep.
Yeah, we're kind of, golf season is kind of winding down. So maybe the Sarasota thing is pretty good there.
Yeah.
So you hinted at the pre-show. The question number 2 is a sports team you might be rooting for right now, and you hinted at some Philly love, I believe.
Yes. So this time of year is so exciting. So and they made it on now to the I'm not going to get this right, but whenever the next round of
NLCS, you're talking about the Phillies. Yep.
Yeah, the Phillies in the next round of games
there you go.
to get them to the World Series. So I watched every single game.
That's awesome.
I love the Phillies, and I'm hoping that they make it to the series again this year. And would love to see them win it this year. I know they didn't win last year, but they gave it a good effort. So anyway, we'd love to see them win this year.
They obviously between them and the Diamondbacks, it's a coin flip. They both are good teams, but you got to think the Phillies have a little bit of an edge there, and with the experience and all that. And it's really anything can happen. I'm pretty sure I'm going to tomorrow's game, so I'm super.
Oh, are you really?
Excited. Yeah, my brother.
Way to go! Good for you.
Yeah, my brother's able to score tickets, I think, from a friend of his. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm sorry, say that.
I was just going to say, I was able to go to one of the games last year in the World Series, which is amazing. We were at the one where they scored all the runs. So that was off the charts.
They're now saying that environment, the Philly crowd environment, is like tops in all of baseball, which I don't think that was ever the case for Philadelphia. I know. Just based on the poor negative.
They don't say that about the football fans.
Right. But what an environment. And I guess a 2B part of that question. Are you an Eagles fan?
I am. We watch the Eagles, and my husband also enjoys the Kansas City Chiefs. Them Holmes Kelsey combination is pretty spectacular. So we try and watch all those games too. So between the Eagles or the Chiefs, we're watching football.
I have an
Penn State. We like to watch Penn State too. So.
We have an interesting connection to the Chiefs at the moment because Chad Henne, the backup, is on the coaching staff for my son's football team.
Oh, fun!
Yeah,
very
so
cool.
That's a fun connection right now. So
where does your son play?
Wilson Schools.
Okay,
yeah. So a lot of fun there, and the kids really they really like it because he brings just that element of what their dream is right to the field. So he's just a great guy. And, I think there's always something special about coming back home. Right. And I think, again, this is why the High family has made Lancaster so important. I specifically thanked Chad. I said, thank you for making home again. Because he could have went anywhere. The High family could direct their energies long ago, right? They could have long ago directed their energies to retirement in some beautiful locale.
Right.
They made home.
Right.
And now it's sustained. And so that leads right into the next question of what's your favorite perk about your job?
Oh, wow. Well, it has to be, no one can plan. I've said this to friends. No one can plan to be in this seat at this time, and as executive director of the High Foundation, that's pretty amazing. And that hits me some days. And I'm very grateful for that. Very grateful to be able to help Dale, first of all, realize his dream, of the foundation moving forward, but then also to continue to be part of the High companies. This is the way that he envisions the High companies continuing beyond his lifetime. So he didn't have, to your point, he didn't have to do that. This was what he chose to do. And so, I respect him so much, but particularly for that, because he didn't have to do that. And he chose to. And so then again, to be in this seat at this time, helping him realize that dream and that vision and what that means to the High companies, to our communities, is just a pretty special place to be.
Yeah.
That's great.
What a great way to wrap up our time together.
Oh, thank you.
I think that's such a great high note. Robin, thank you. Thank you for all you're doing. Thank you for being that person to help carry forward the High family's vision. It's always very cool as a business owner, no matter what level you're on, to see that come about and that legacy, which is really what we've talked about today, continue and how it's been cemented. So thank you for so much. That was a little tongue-in-cheek pun there, a little cemented, right? The High family.
Yeah, there you go.
Little snuck that right in. I ruined it by talking about it. I always get on him, but I realized it. Surprised myself. But no, thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you to you both. I enjoyed it. And thank you for what you're contributing to the fabric of our community.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
It takes all of us, right? So thank you for your role and for the opportunity to be part of your show.
Do you have a Go Phillies for us before you leave?
Oh, yeah. Go Phillies.
There you go. Well done.
Go Phillies.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you so much, Robin. Thank you for your time.
Yep. Take care.
It's a great conversation with Robin Stauffer. It's really, we've been chugging along here on Lancaster Connects, and I think it's affirmation of what we're doing, what we're building here with this little show to really showcase great people doing great things in our community. Where is Lancaster without $30 million of investment from the High family?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Across all of the organizations, she just mentioned 3 or 4 of the organizations. When you go to their website, there's a number of organizations listed there that they impact. And I'm sure none of them could have the impact that they've had on their more grassroots
their
level.
Broader missions. Yeah. Their support of SOCA and Tech Central, without their support, where do the folks land who didn't have the opportunity to go through that training and establish their career? Yep. So the challenge would be just, get out there and do something. That time, that talent, that treasure conversation, put it back into your local neighborhood, your local community as best you can. It doesn't take much. And we started that whole vision with this show. And so very cool to have Robin join us, with his prestigious and his high profile of a company and a charitable organization as High Foundation is. That's very cool. Very cool. All right. On to the rest of the show.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. I'll just point out that, Chris, you haven't put the comment on the screen, but I can see it. My boy Joey from college, he's just posting a bunch of stuff, but Session the band. Session was a band that Joey and I were in the end of our college years, early 2000s. We got 3 or 4 years in and that was about it, but we had a fantastic time. And I guess Session the band lives on. I know Joey did a lot of the recording and stuff, and he's got a bunch of like old recordings that we've got to get out there. But
we need to have that on the show.
Yeah, we can put
Joey, you can send that to Jeff at GardnersMattressandMore.com.
I have a disc, I have a CD.
No,
that's about all I have. But here we go. Album dropping soon.
That's funny.
We got to do a reunion tour, man. That's what we got to do. We got to get the band back together.
Well, we always appreciate comments. We appreciate shares. If you happen to be a guest that would like to be on our show, go to LancasterConnects.com/guest. We got fans of the band. We need to bring this back.
Yeah.
But if you want to be on the show, you go to LancasterConnects.com/guest and get the process started. At this point, we're booking into January of 24. So we'd love to have you on the show. And, as much as, America's a great place. You always have a choice. And as much as Robin loved her choice of Starbucks coffee, we also hope that our local community can also love local whiff roasters. You can experience for yourself that fresh, rich flavor and exquisite blends of Whiff Roasters coffee. It's right downtown in Lidditz. They've got a retail facility there behind Sturgis Pretzel, and they've also got one at the market at Wilbur. And you should definitely check them out and let them know that you heard about Whiff right here on the show, Lancaster Connects.
Their roastery, I mean, they roast the beans right there on site, right behind the pretzel shop. And like you walk in there and it's like, this like waft of coffee. Yeah, I mean, maybe if you're there all day long, it would be like overwhelming, or maybe it just blends in, but like it smells amazing when you walk in there.
What's funny about coffee is I don't know that you can get too much of it.
This is true.
When I had a little side hustle back before like side hustle was a in vogue term.
Before or after the band?
This was during the band. How I helped to fund it. But I would flip cars and I'd find cars. Like this is when you could get, it's so funny. I'm looking at like 1981 Camaros, which is my first car. I'm looking at them today and it's like the thing that I bought for $1,500 back in the day is now put another zero on it, 15,000. And it just blows my mind. But I bring this all up because when I pull them out of junkyards and fix them up, the upholstery had a musty odor to it because it was in a junkyard. Mm-hmm. Maybe a window was broken, so moisture got in. I would take the cheapest can of coffee I could find, big ones, and just throw it across the whole interior because it would suck that smell out. Yep. And then you're left with coffee. Just the coffee smell.
Can't go wrong.
And nobody ever complained about coffee smell. So at any rate,
I see Betsy's comment here. Sad to miss the High Foundation show, but hey, you know what? It's already posted. In fact, like
you go back in time right now and just watch it.
That's right. Go to LancasterConnects.com/episode and just click play on the video that's at the top of the page. It's right there. Or even it's on the homepage, LancasterConnects.com or YouTube or Facebook. It's all there.
Don't even need to jump in here DeLorean. You just click back. You're right in it. So at any rate, so we do prizes. We have a prize this month with Roasters. Again, go to LancasterConnects.com/contest. You can enter in for the big gift basket that's pictured there. There's 13 days left. So pretty good odds right now, but we're going to be promoting it, continuing throughout the month. Hit a little hiccup with our promotion machine. That'll be fixed and you'll want to be in. So LancasterConnects.com/contest. So Gardner's Mattress and More, we put the show on. We've given you 55 minutes of content, 55 minutes of great highlight with Robin and all the great work that she's doing at High Foundation. But it's time to pay the bills a little bit here for Gardner's Mattress and More. And so my sleep better tip for you is a little more atmospheric, a little more higher level thinking. And I would challenge you with this. So if you went to the heart doctor and the heart doctor said, well, you got 4 out of 5 arteries clogged and that 5th one ain't looking good, would you continue to eat bacon in the morning for breakfast? I mean, I know bacon's great.
I don't know. That's like
trust me, coming, like you can tell, I love bacon. Okay. But seriously, everybody would probably stop eating high cholesterol foods, fatty foods that are bad for you that very next day. Well, a lot of folks visit us and they say well, I've had this bad mattress for a while, but I had to get my money's worth out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody's had their arteries for a while. Would you apply that same logic? I got to get my use out of these arteries before they go fix them.
Like, how long should an artery last? It should give you more than
a mattress,
55 years.
Yeah,
right?
a mattress is something that you use every day. It's something that supports that other stool of a healthy life, health, right? You've got diet, health, exercise, health, sleep, health. And so we hear people want to continually pour into that bad device, a device that doesn't serve their back, doesn't serve their body, doesn't serve their sleep. And so while I can understand maybe you made a recent investment elsewhere and are disappointed and you call them and visit, think about it that way. You wouldn't just continue to do these bad habits and hurt your heart. So you shouldn't do these bad habits on that bad mattress and really hurt your entire body, because sleep helps fix everything. That's my sleep better tip. If you want more thoughts about sleeping great, gardenersmattressandmore.com/sleep-better. We'll mail you a copy of this book right here. Get that out in the mail to you. Great tips on habits, hygiene, routines, and a little bit about mattress talk as well.
I like that.
You like that?
Yeah,
Every once in a while, this guy, the squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Tying into acorn.
Betsy would like
that. All right. Testimonial time for Gardener's Mattress and More. Got a nifty handwritten testimonial here. In fact, this morning, now this was the weekend's worth of mail, so I guess Saturday, but we had 3 testimonial sheets to open this morning, which was kind of cool. You never know what you're going to get in these, but we got 3 great ones that came in, and just wanted to highlight the last question here. We ask everybody about their overall experience. Overall, an excellent purchase and delivery experience. The sales and delivery staff were knowledgeable, helpful, and attentive. Thank you, Mary. And she said, thanks to us. So, what I wanted to say there is, there's sales. Obviously, we provide information about mattresses and try to make the best fit to our customers' sleep needs. So that's one part of it, but that's only half of it. And it's an important part, but the delivery part is equally as important. So the fact that we had a really great experience start to finish that we provided Mary was awesome. And it's getting a mattress in and out of the home. There's a lot of logistics there. It's not just drop off on the curb like Amazon might do, or anything else like that you buy online. It's full service, in the house, out of the house. So the fact that we can provide that service from start, curious about a mattress to then sleeping well and waking up happy every morning, it's extremely important to us. So thank you to Mary for the testimonial you mailed back.
That's right. Well, thank you for watching this week's show. As we look to wrap up, a couple things. We have our 33rd anniversary going on. I mentioned that we're in that 33rd anniversary year with Robin, and a lot of great events going on. 36 months, no interest, no money down, sign, sleep, and dream. So that's really nice. Keep all your money in your pocket. Lowest interest rate going around right now, 0%, which is fantastic. We've got double deals starting at $6.99 or more. Free gifts when you purchase starting at $4.99. Above our heads, you can kind of see over there. Sorry to point in Ben's face. We've got some closeouts that remain. So just a wonderful time to invest in a new mattress. Again, remember, if you've been suffering on one, it's time to move on. Your body, your mind, your productivity, your happiness. Well, thank you for it. We'd love for you to do that. We've got some contests going on. All of this is on our sales site. There it is. Our gas and grocery gift card. It's like we've been doing this for 115 episodes. I love it. Gas and grocery gift card, $500. We'll draw that and announce the winner on November 6th, which is the first Monday after the month closes in October. We'll be here with you. All you do to get in that is bring in a box of food, macaroni and cheese, a can of soup. One item gets you 1 ticket. 50 items gets you 50 tickets. And we've had people do that just today. And so we got that going on, our anniversary contest going on, and also the contest for Whiff Roasters. And if you can't get out to Linnets and visit them there, you can get their great coffee at Stauffer's of Kissel Hill if you're grocery shopping. Oregon Dairy, when you go pet the cows or get a milkshake. Although right now I'm not good milkshake weather, better coffee weather, which is why
always milkshake weather. Come on.
Which is why you want Whiff Roasters coffee. The Country Store, Dutch Way Farm Markets, Village Farm Market, Fox Meadows Creamery, Martin's Country Market, Shady Maple, and Maplehoff Dairy. All places to get amazing whiff roasters, coffee, locally brewed, locally roasted, locally made whiff roasters. Just can't say enough good about them. And come in all month long and get your pumpkin spice on. Actually, more pumpkin pecan on. We'll give you a free pack of that. All right. I think that's all the business. Packed a lot in there in 6-7 minutes. We'll see you all next week on Lancaster Connects. Take care.